I used to react to quite a few different Molly Burke videos, and I kind of got the reputation from her fans. Uh, Somebody called me a hate tornado. And for about 2 years, the past 2 years, I stopped making content about her. I tried really hard to just let her be her and just not make content about her, or try to find the positive in what she was saying and doing. And then she produced her memoir and has gone on a book tour, as you would do if you were a famous person who published a book. And she has been really pushing her memoir, and fine, that's what you do. But she's really just amped up the I have no idea what seeing is. I have no concept of sight. I don't just this whole pretending that she's completely totally blind and has been that way forever. The short that I did recently with her and her boyfriend, and he was trying to describe to her what seeing in the dark was like, and seeing colors in the dark, and her apparently not being able to tell when her eyes were open and closed, which unless she's got other nerve damage that she hasn't talked about, which would be a surprise to me because she's made everything medical about herself public knowledge. RP doesn't do that. I've met other people with RP and they know when their eyes are open and shut. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, she went on Dr. Mike's podcast recently, and it was a shit show. He did not ask any tough questions. He basically was there to fluff her and promote her book, and just basically he didn't honestly I like his content when he's just on his own and talking about medical stuff, like talking about the necessity of childhood vaccines, explaining what a disease does to the body, stuff like that. Content on his own I really appreciate. But when he interviews people, he just asks them really fluffy questions. He doesn't ask them anything that might make them uncomfortable. He really doesn't guide the interview, at least not with Molly. He basically let her talk. It was the Molly Burke podcast. It wasn't Dr. Mike's checkup podcast that day, which is a normal par for the course for Molly. When she's on something with other people, it becomes her show. But I really just feel the need to start again covering some of her stuff, because I really feel, especially with some of the things that she revealed in that episode of the Checkup podcast, where her parents got in with the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and shoved her into spokespersonship as a child, and did not do any research into what the FFB was about. And now Molly has been shaped by those experiences and now conflates the charity model of disability with medicine and society as a whole, and has built her platform on that warped basis of thought, and has taught millions of sighted people to think along those lines, and speaks out of both sides of her mouth. She'll say, I'm one disabled person with one person's experience, but then she amasses all of these sycophants who will not take other blind people's opinions on the same level as Molly's. Molly does not encourage her fans to imbibe or consume other content by other blind people unless they are the same, like, unless they have the same following size as she does. Anyone below that, she doesn't feel like she needs to shout them out or treat them as though they have the same validity of opinion as somebody like her or Tommy Edison, or, as much as I respect him, Blind Surfer Pete. Those, honestly, I can think those are the only two people that I can think of that she's collaborated with that are along the same following lines as her. The only person I know who has a smaller following than she does that she shouts out has a bigger pull offline in, like, the accessibility tech space, and he plays her video games for her, basically. So that's why she shouts him out. And it's really, and then she says that she's becoming a gamer because somebody else who actually fights for game accessibility comes over and basically holds her hand while she plays. And that's why he gets a shout out from her. Otherwise, if you are blind and you think differently than Molly, you are a hater, you do not understand, you are jealous, and you just really should watch more of Molly's content because you clearly don't know what she's been through, and you as a blind person are just rude and jealous because your experiences have been vastly different, vastly more difficult, and vastly more isolating than what she has had to go through. And I'm not just talking about myself. I know many blind people who have been blind from birth, or have lost their sight and have had to do it without the help of their entire family. They've had to do it completely on their own. There are blind single mothers who are completely, totally no light perception blind, who own homes and have children and have had to navigate divorce and co-parenting, and like, just to hear from how sheltered and how, because her parents just shoved her into spokesmanhood at the age of 5 with a charity who, in the blind community from its inception, everybody that hears the words of the Foundation Fighting Blindness goes, oh God, no. Had Molly's parents just done any sort of research or spoken to anybody in the blind community who were adults, they could have saved Molly a lot of pain. And Molly wouldn't be so upset and so warped by her basically being used by a charity. And while that's absolutely horrible, and she should not have been used by a charity, that is not how medicine views disability. That is, like, are there things that need to be changed in medicine? Yes. Do we need to advocate for ourselves as disabled people within the medical field? Yes. But does every single doctor that sees a disabled person see a broken person? No. And that's Molly's warped opinion. And unfortunately, a lot of her life has been warped by that use by the charity. And she has built her platform on her being abused by that charity. And she has taken that trauma and put it onto all of medicine, all of disability, and all of society, and gotten millions of people to follow her. And anybody that speaks out is just wrong. And I don't think that's fair. So I am not going to just make endless content about debunking Molly, and I am not going to sit here and be an absolute cunt about it either, but I'm not going to ignore it anymore, because there are a lot of people who need to be heard, and she is eclipsing them. This isn't a me versus Molly issue. This is a Molly ignoring the blind community that she says that she wants to support. And people that, I'm not saying people shouldn't watch her, I'm saying people need to watch her and others. People need to watch her and understand what lens she's producing this content through. They don't need to watch her and go, oh, this is what Molly says, so this is how blindness works. And that's what's going on. I hope I've made myself clear. I'm going to be producing a video in the next few days reacting to her going through the comments of Dr. Mike's podcast episode. But before I did that video, I just wanted to come on and summarize what I saw in the Dr. Mike podcast. It is still up on my channel as a stream. I covered it during the break I was taking during my budget day stream of watching CPAC. So if you'd like to go watch that, it's there. And I will be putting up the video responding to her comment reactions probably tomorrow. But I just wanted to come up here and explain why I'm doing this again. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I hope my voice gets better. I'm sick. I'm sorry about that. And I'll see you in the next one.